Hello everybody. Today we're going to be drawing Yoshi from the Mario universe. We're going to start off by drawing a big old circle for his nose. Then we're going to draw just a little notch, and that's where his eye is going to end up being. And we're going to draw a little half circle for his little smile. You'll notice that a lot of the what we're drawing here are circles. There are lots of circles and half circles and big round shapes on Yoshi. And so if you're drawing a straight line, you've probably done something wrong. So we're going to try and draw an oval for just a little partial oval for his first eyeball. We're going to leave that incomplete and draw the second one. So that one looks like it's more in front than the first one. And then we're just going to connect that to the rest of the head. Then we're going to draw the little eyelids, complete that eyeball there. And then once we're done with that, we'll actually draw the eyes themselves. And you might remember Yoshi from some games I'm pretty fond of. Mario Galaxy 2, Yoshi Story, Super Smash, love those games. I'm especially fond of Yoshi Story, partially because they introduced just a whole array of colors that Yoshi can be really, and I think that really opened up the creative aspect of Yoshi, and that's what I really like about him. He's just such a cute little dude to draw. All right, now that we've drawn the nostrils on, you can start to see his starting to look a little bit more like Yoshi. Then we're going to draw the hands. We're going to have his head turning backwards, looking behind him. So this hand, we're going to draw just a few fingers. They don't have to look super great. He just kind of has little round nubs for fingers anyway. Then we're going to draw the thumb just kind of on front. So it kind of you can tell that's his left hand because the thumb is facing out. That's what you want it to look like. Then we're going to draw the right hand just in front of that. So you can see he's got his hands clenched in front of him. And we're going to draw the the thumb and index finger just kind of pinched together in a fist, and it's going to make that kind of upside down T shape that you see there. Then we're just going to attach the arm to the body that's not there yet. And once we're done with that, we'll move on to drawing the shell now. We're just going to draw a little round shape. We don't want to make it too big, otherwise he starts to look long, and we don't want a long Yoshi. We don't want him to be Yoshi the wiener dog. He's supposed to be Yoshi the dinosaur. So then we're going to complete the shell just a little bit. Just a little tube that goes around it, giving it that kind of funky look. Then we're going to draw the tail, and the tip of the tail should sort of line up with the top of his left eyeball. As you can see, I was kind of measuring that there. Then you just kind of bring it down. All right, and I think we're ready to start drawing his legs. All right, just bring down a little leg. They're not really distinct, and then you just kind of finish it off like that. Then draw one just behind it. And now his shoes are kind of funky looking. They're really round like the rest of him. And then it's just a big round front like that. And then the second one, just draw it a little smaller and kind of back behind. All right, we're going to clean up this shoe just a little bit. Then we're going to add the sole on bottom. You want to make sure that the bottom of the shoe and the bottom of the sole are kind of evenly spaced apart so it looks just nice and clean. Now we're going to draw the little bounce line where the egg is going to be coming out from him. And you just want to make sure the egg is just a proportional size to Yoshi. You don't want it to be too big. You don't want it to be too small. Don't want it to look like a chicken egg or anything. And I think that looks just about right. And so after that, you'll notice that there are some lines that we're not going to marker in. That line coming from the edge of his smile out to the edge of his face, we're going to not marker in. Same with that little line we just drew on the tail and the line in between his leg and arm. And then just add little scales and we're almost there. We're ready for the marker now, I think. All right, now that we're done with the outline, I think we're ready to add some color. And so we're just gonna start with the crimson red marker, just very lightly at the top, start coloring in those eyelids. The nice thing about these Prisma markers is that they don't put too much color out, and that's actually a complaint I hear from some fellow artists. They don't think they're dark enough, but I really enjoy using them because you can add layers of color and get different values using the same marker without having to switch out. But a lot of people think they're too faint, not dark enough, and so we're we're just going to quickly erase that line I was talking about earlier, the one that goes from the edge of his smile to the edge of his head, and we're just going to kind of follow the outline that's left and try and just not leave that a hard line, but make sure that the color is in there. So the edge of his face is still white, but we get to see that kind of pattern that he's got going on. Then we're just going to quickly fill in his nose. And we're not going to add any different colors to here. We're just still using the crimson red as for right now. But then once we're done adding the first layer of red, we're going to go through the bottom and the top to just kind of make it look a little more spherical, to add that kind of shadow there. And that's the nice part about these markers, is you can add those layers to darken certain areas without having to switch colors out. So now we're going to just using true blue, color in those scales real quick because they don't require much attention other than just filling them in with the blue. And then we're just going to move right onto the left hand, and we're just going to fill that in. And you just want to, I mean, at this point, you just want to make sure you're staying inside the lines. And once we're done with this hand, we're actually going to move on and grab a different color. We're going to grab the Tuscan red to create a nice shadow effect underneath his nose. All right, now we're going to use the Tuscan red to create a shadow underneath his nose and a little bit under the shell too, I think. We're just going to layer this on first to just give it time to dry, and then we're going to go over it with the crimson red so it gives us a kind of darker red, but it doesn't look like that kind of brownish red, that kind of maroon color that it is by itself. So now we're going to go back over with the crimson red eventually. We're going to add a shadow here under the leg as well, I guess. All right, now using the crimson red, we're just going to go right back over where we were and just get that color in there. And the colors also blend really well, which is a really nice property of the Prisma markers. They blend almost like a paint. It's really, really quite nice. So we're just going to blend that down. And so now you can see that part looks darker, but oh, and we made a little mistake. We went beyond where we wanted to, but that's fine. We're just going to keep going. And then this part is just, keep on filling it in. And we want to keep that part by the tail white. We'll erase that line now. And then you can see that his belly is still white compared to the rest of him. And we're just going to add another layer of red just to kind of bring that color out a bit more. And we're just going to make up for that mistake, we're just going to make that look like the shadow of his armpit by adding some Tuscan red to it. Now using true blue, we're just going to color in the shell. Same thing we did on the nose, just to make it look a little spherical, but not adding any more colors. And we're going to do the exact same sort of thing on the shoe, which are also round, which is pretty nice. You just want to give it that kind of spherical effect by adding a shadow around the side and leaving a base layer in the middle to make it look a little more round. Now using Spanish orange, we're just going to color the soles of the shoe, just one layer, that's all we need. And we're going to switch to goldenrod and just kind of darken in the sides just a bit. Give them that 3D look, just a little bit, give them some value. Now, back to the Spanish orange, we're just going to color some nice spots on the egg, just to make it look nice. Just using the same colors we used on the Yoshi itself. Just going to add a little yellow half circle over there. Then we'll switch to true blue and add a little circle on top. And you can see I've switched to the brush tip to the fine tip for this part because we're drawn pretty small now. We just want to keep it nice and in one area. And I mean, that's just about it, folks. Not much more we can do now. We're just going to clean up some of the lines we have here. And you always want to take a step back and look at the drawing once you think you've reached completion, just to find any errors or problems you might spot some that you didn't see while you were kind of had your face close to the picture. Now, it's not a perfect Yoshi by any means, but I think it looks pretty hot. His left eyelid's a little droopy, kind of makes him look like Forrest Whitaker a little bit, but we only had a few minor problems, but otherwise I'd say it turned out pretty good. Pretty excited about this one. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and comment suggestions, please. Love to do them. See you next video.